Hello everyone, from class 12 Business Studies. In the chapter of directing, we had studied the meaning and features of directing, the importance of directing, and in the components or the elements of directing, we had studied that we have total 4 elements in directing. The first one is supervision, we had already studied. After that comes the motivation, leadership, and communication. So today we'll be having a detailed explanation about the second element of directing, that is motivation. Let us start with the meaning. Here we do have, that is, motivation refers to a process of stimulating and inspiring people at work to accomplish their desired goals or to accomplish the desired goals. Stimulating, this word stimulating, you have to keep in your mind a very important term. You have to stick to this word. So what does motivation means? Motivation means stimulation of people, or stimulating or and inspiring the people to accomplish desired goals of the organization. We do have given certain definitions also by some authors and institutions, but we have to concentrate over the meaning. That is, motivation refers to a process. So what is motivation? Motivation is a process of what? Process of stimulating, boosting up, process of inspiring the people for accomplishment of desired goals. Any person when get motivated work willingly, a person get demotivated stop working. So we need to motivate the employees, we need to motivate the workers in the organization so that the goals of the organization can be achieved, the goals of the organization can be accomplished. Every person start working for achieving the goals of the organization. And what does motivation means? Motivation means the process of stimulating and inspiring the people. You can note down this meaning in your copies. Further, what is the need of motivation? What is the reason for motivation? Why do we need to motivate the people? So for that, you can just understand that every manager in an organization has the responsibility to get things done by subordinates. Every manager has to get the things done from his subordinates. It is the responsibility of every manager to get the things done. What does management mean? Management means to get the things done through others. Now, how a manager will get the work done from others? Obviously, this responsibility can be discharged by finding out what makes the people work, what makes the people work to do things, what makes the people behave the way they do, why some people are reluctant to work though they have the required ability. There is a tendency that they have the skills, they have the required ability, still they try to escape from the work. And what what should be done to make people work effectively? These four questions, if will be answered in the mind of the manager, then it will get one single answer, that is how a person can get motivated, how the workers can be motivated. Fine, let us move further. Now, there are certain terms whose meaning is we need to understand their meaning very importantly. These terms seems to be similar, but actually they have their different meaning. The first one, the three terms are motive, motivation, and motivators. Let us start with the motive. You may have heard this term motive, where uh, many times in movies or in some detective serials you must have heard the person who have committed a murder, the person who have committed certain crime, a investigation officer always search for what was the motive why this crime has happened. So what does motive means? Motive refers to an inner state or desired which activates, compels, and directs the individual to behave in a direction of achievement of goal. So what does motive mean? Motive means a state of mind, a desire, or the inner state of mind means the motivation. Motive develops a goal directed behavior. With the availability of motive in the mind, a person always work in a particular area. So you can see here the meaning of motive is given to you, and you can just copy this one in your notes. Further, let us talk about motivation. Few minutes earlier only we just studied that motivation is a process of stimulating the uh, people, process of inspiring the people to work in a desired manner. So any person who has the motive in the mind can get motivation. So motivation is a process of stimulating and inspiring people at work to accomplish desired goals. And it depends upon satisfying needs of people. Keep this thing, remember, unsatisfied need. Unsatisfied need is the most important element for motivation. Any person who is having unsatisfied need, unfulfilled need can be motivated. Any person who is have do not have any unsatisfied or unfulfilled need can never be uh, motivated. So the most important element for motivation, however, motivation is the element of directing. And what is the most important element for motivation? Unfulfilled need. Now, how this need can be fulfilled is known as motivator. If we want to motivate any person, we have to give him certain incentive, and that incentive is known as motivator. Just see what is given here. Motivator is the technique used to motivate people in the organization. And the common examples of motivator are given to you here, that is pay, bonus, promotion, recognition are the some of the examples that can be used as motivator. If you give a person an opportunity to earn high salary, if you gives a person motivator, use a motivator that you will be provided high salary if you will work willingly, that is known as motivator. किसी भी पर्सन को अगर आप कहते हैं कि अगर आप ज़्यादा काम करोगे, मेहनत से काम करोगे, तो मैं आपकी सैलरी बढ़ा दूंगा, तो ये सैलरी बढ़ाना क्या हो गया? मोटिवेटर। जैसे ही आपने उसको ऐसा कहा और उसके माइंड में एक ड्राइव क्रिएट हो जाती है, उसके माइंड में एक स्टेट ऑफ माइंड चेंज हो जाता है उसके माइंड में एक अलग फीलिंग आ जाती है, क्या? नाउ दैट मुझे बहुत अच्छे से काम करना है, दैट इज़ मोटिव। और ये जो पूरा प्रोसेस था, प्रोसेस ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग मोटिवेटर, प्रोसेस ऑफ क्रिएटिंग एन inner state of mind and desire, and that is known, a complete process is known as motivation. So motive, that is inner state of mind. Motivation, the process of stimulating. Motivator, the technique used or the incentive provided to motivate a person. However, this topic of incentives can be financial as well as non-financial, and that we will study in detail in our further next coming videos. Let us move further. Now we have a very important diagram here which explains you the process of motivation. This process of motivation I will explain you with the help of a nice story. Before that, you must understand that we have how many? We have in total six points that will we have total 6 points in the process of motivation. First of all, there should be an unsatisfied need. The first one is there should be an unsatisfied need. Secondly, whenever there will be an unsatisfied need in the mind of a person, it will create the tension in his mind. Tension will develop a restless behavior, and it will create a motive or a drive in the mind of the person. What kind of motive? Motive to search for the satisfaction of his unfulfilled need. When the person will start searching, definitely he will get certain motivator, he will get certain incentive, and that will satisfy his need. And as soon as the need gets satisfied, it will reduce the tension in the mind of the person. So we have total 6 steps in the process of motivation. In few books this process is given, in few books the process is not given, but you must understand it, because in NCRT books the process of motivation is one of the topic explained. Now just let me explain you with a simple story kind of. Suppose I am feeling hungry. I am feeling hungry. So which stage is it? This is the first stage, that is there is an unsatisfied need in me, that is I am feeling hungry, and if I am not having any eatables, it will create an unsatisfied need. When for half an hour or 1 hour, if I after uh, that I won't eat something, it will create a tension in my mind, and I will develop a restless behavior. As soon as the restless behavior will be developed, I will start searching for some eatables. If suppose I am sitting in my office, I will just move out of the office on the road and start searching some snacks to satisfy my hunger. That is, search behavior will be developed after the restless behavior, and restless behavior denotes drives. As soon as I will start searching, it may be possible that after walking for 5 to 10 minutes, I will find a shop where I can get certain snacks. I can buy those snacks, biscuits or chips, something, and I can eat those. After having those snacks, my need will get satisfied, and I will start feeling motivated because my need has got satisfied. As soon as my unsatisfied need will get satisfied, I will start feeling motivated. So where the process of motivation started, is process of motivation got started with the unsatisfied need. If the person will not be having a unsatisfied need, that person will not enter to this process, and that person can never be get motivated. And as soon as this unsatisfied need got satisfied, I will start feeling motivated, and that will reduce the tension in my mind. So what is the final stage of motivation? The final stage of motivation reduces the tension in the mind of a person. Okay, this is the process of motivation. The example what I have given you of a person who is feeling hungry and start searching for food is an example given in NCERT book. Okay, so here you can find that one more diagram is given to you that explains the process of motivation, and some explanation is written here. That is, an unsatisfied need creates tension that stimulates, you can copy it in your notes. An unsatisfied need, here it is written, an unsatisfied need, sorry, an unsatisfied need creates tension that stimulates the drive within an individual to generate a search behavior, to finds, it's written wrong there, fins is written, to finds particular goals, if attained will satisfy, when the goals will be attained will satisfy the need and reduces the tension. So reduction in the tension, this stage where the person reduces their achieves the stage of reduction in tension, this stage is known as motivation. Let us move further. Now let us study some of the features of motivation. And one more thing I would like to explain you here, as unsatisfied need was there and it created tension, then you developed a restless behavior, then you start searching, you got your need satisfied, tension got reduced. Now do you think the process of motivation got ended up here? Actually not. As soon as there will be a reduction of tension and the person got motivated, or you can say one need has got satisfied, this will give rise to another unsatisfied need. So it means motivation is also a continuous process. Every person needs motivation continuously throughout his career, throughout his life, because motivation is a continuous process. So this can also be used as one of the characteristic. Further few four characteristics we can see here for motivation. That is, motivation is an internal feeling. After that, motivation produces goal directed behavior. And motivation can be either positive or negative. That is, a person can be given incentive, that high salary is a positive motivation, and a person can be given a punishment, that you have done this thing wrong, now you have to suffer this punishment, you have been penalized. This is can be called as a negative motivation. And lastly, motivation is a complex process. This is also one of the feature or characteristic or nature of motivation. We can just have a detailed explanation for these points. Motivation is an internal feeling. The first point is here. Now motivation is a psychological concept and cannot be forced on employees. Motivation always comes from insight. Motivation cannot be forced or burdened over a person. A person can be influenced by the superior, a person can be influenced, but that person can never be motivated boundedly. So that is the reason it is written here, motivation is an internal feeling. If when a person start feeling motivated, it brings comes from internally, that I am feeling excited to work, I am feeling motivated. You cannot see the motivation physically, but you can just experience the presence of motivation in person's work. When the person is doing the work willingly, enthusiastically, it means the person is feeling motivated, and in internally he is motivated. So keep this thing, remember that motivation is an internal feeling. It cannot be uh, overburdened, or it cannot be brought from outside. Now what is written here, motivation is a psychological concept and cannot be forced on employees. The internal feeling like urges, drives, desires, etc., aspirations, these are the points. That internal feeling, what kind of, these are the points, that is urges, drives, needs, these are the points which motivate a person. Okay, it is an internal feeling. Aspirations, striving, or influence, desires, these all are the psychological concepts. Then another point is given here, motivation produces goal directed behavior. Whenever a person uh, feels motivated, it develops a goal directed behavior in that person. He will start working to achieve the goal of the organization. Just see what is written here. Motivation influences employees behavior in such a manner so that they can achieve their goals. So it is a process of influencing or inspiring the employees, influencing or inspiring the subordinates. And in what manner? In such a behavior that they will start working to achieve the goal. For example, if a person has desire to get promotion, अगर कोई चाहता है that उसको promotion मिले अपनी job में, then he will work efficiently to achieve this goal. So motivation produces a goal directed behavior. Whoever person wants promotion, wants certain incentive, automatically start working willingly. Okay, then we do have the two more points here. The third one is, that is, motivation can be either positive or negative. I just explained you a few minutes earlier. That is, if a person works efficiently and you provide him additional pay or incentives or promotion or recognition, these are the examples of positive motivation. But a person who has not achieved the target, and if you provide him certain punishment or threat of demotion, etc., penalty, etc., that is known as negative motivation. You are just providing a threat of demotion. You are not giving him demotion, but you are just giving a threat that आपको हम सैलरी कम कर देंगे अगर आपने अच्छा काम नहीं किया, तो हम आपको पेनल्टी लगा देंगे। और इतना बोलने से अगर वो पर्सन अच्छा काम करने लग गया, तो ये क्या था, ये आपका नेगेटिव मोटिवेशन था. And you can take an example from a class also. Many times a person in the test, if he performs good, the person is given good, very good, excellent. In a good performance, he is giving the positive comments. And many times the person who is not, the student who is not scoring good marks, then he is given the note poor, very bad. These kinds of negative remarks are given. So these are also for motivation, that next time that person, that student will start start studying to get better marks. Okay, so motivation can either be positive or it can also be negative. Both kinds of motivation are there. And lastly, we have to understand that motivation is a complex process. Why motivation is a complex process? Because in motivation, while undergoing the process of motivation, we need to uh, work with the human being. Motivation is a psychological concept. We need to inspire and influence the human beings. We need to motivate to the human beings, and the human beings have different expectations, desires, and different state of mind. For example, one person can be motivated through financial incentives, another person can be motivated through non-financial incentives, one person can be motivated through positive incentive, another person can be motivated through negative motivation. So we have to find out that which thing or which motivator will influence the behavior of the person. And this process is actually results in a complex in nature. So what is written here, just see. Motivation is a complex process. Motivation is a complex process as the individuals are heterogeneous. Heterogeneous means having difference on the basis of taste, expectations, behavior, characteristics, nature. Heterogeneous in their expectations, perceptions, and reactions. A particular type of motivation may not have uniform effect on all the members. If you provide incentive of high salary, may be possible out of a group of 10, 5 get motivated, and 2 may another 5 may not get motivated on the option of high salary. Instead, if you appreciate, if you provide a recognition to the certain employees, may be possible again to get motivated, another 8 may not get motivated. So which person will get motivated with which kind of motivator, with which kind of incentive, to find out this thing is actually a complex task. And that is why it is known as that motivation is a complex process. So here we had just studied about the characteristics or the features of motivation. Now in the next topic we have to study the Maslow's need hierarchy theory, and that we will study in detail in the next class. Today we had just studied about the characteristics of motivation. we studied about the process of motivation, and we studied about the uh, meaning of motivation, meaning and need of motivation. I hope you all have understood all the points clearly. If you still left with any query, any doubt, you can either rewind the video, watch it once again, or you can mention it in the comment. I will provide a detailed explanation to you. One more thing you can do, in the description the link for Telegram channel is given to you. One of the Telegram group I have formed of K-Commerce Academy, the link is given in the description. You can join that group, and what is the purpose of joining that group will you will just experience that after joining that group only. Okay, so if you are interested in holistic kind of studies, you can join the Telegram group given, that is link is whose link is given in the description. Thank you.